You didn't hear about this on HGTV. 10 Arizona cities are posting real documented home price crashes right now. And if you own in one of them, this is the video you cannot afford to skip. Here is what most people still believe. Arizona real estate is a one-way bet. The Phoenix metro booms. Scottsdale always wins. Demand never runs out. That story was true long enough that people wired their life savings into Arizona zip codes because everyone said you could not lose. The data in 2026 says something different. In 10 specific cities, prices are not flattening. They are down. Sellers are cutting. Inventory is stacking. And one city on this list, a place that was on every best places to buy list from 2020 through 2023, is now leading the state's correction with price drops that have erased years of gains for people who bought at the top. If you own in Arizona, stay. If you are planning to buy, stay. What comes next will either protect your equity or completely change how you see this market. Number 10 is Surprise, Arizona. The name felt like a promise. The market is delivering a different kind. Surprise sits in the northwest valley of Maricopa County, population about 145,000, along the Loop 303 corridor that was supposed to be the next great Phoenix expansion frontier. Median home prices are down roughly 9% from their 2023 peak, according to Zillow first quarter 2026 data. Active listings are up 38% year over year, according to Redfin. Homes are sitting an average of 67 days before going under contract. In 2022, that same home was gone in under 2 weeks. The reason is structural. During the boom, national builders flooded the Northwest Valley with spec homes. By 2024, those projects were delivering finished inventory into a market where rates had doubled, and the qualified buyer pool had been cut in half. A resale seller in Surprise is not competing with other homeowners. They are competing with D.R. Horton, offering rate buydowns and closing cost credits that no individual seller can match. If you are selling in Surprise right now, you are in a price war you did not sign up for, against an opponent with no emotional attachment to the asset and a quarterly earnings report to answer to. Number 9 is Buckeye, Arizona, and Buckeye has a problem that does not show up in any listing photo. Buckeye was the fastest growing city in the United States for 3 straight years. Its population is now past 120,000 along the Interstate 10 corridor, about 35 miles west of downtown Phoenix. Median prices have pulled back roughly 10% from peak to around $368,000, according to Redfin data from early 2026. Inventory in some zip codes is up over 40% year over year. But the figure institutional buyers are quietly circling is not a price, it is a water figure. Buckeye draws heavily from Colorado River allocations under the Central Arizona Project. Arizona has already received a Tier 1 shortage declaration from the Bureau of Reclamation. Maricopa County long-range planning documents have flagged water infrastructure strain in far west valley expansion corridors. The Rio Verde Highlands situation in 2023, where an unincorporated community had its external water supply cut off entirely, was a warning the market largely ignored. Buyers with long-horizon underwriting models did not ignore it. When that capital hesitates, the speculative premium inflating Buckeye prices leaks out. If you are evaluating Buckeye long-term, the question to ask your agent is not what the comps are. It is where the water comes from, and what happens to values here if Central Arizona project allocations tighten further. If they cannot answer that specifically, that is your answer. Number 8 is Casa Grande. The median household income here is around $53,000 a year. The median home price is still near $380,000. You do not need a finance degree to see the problem. Casa Grande sits in Pinal County along Interstate 10 between Phoenix and Tucson. Population around 60,000. It became a speculative target on the back of Arizona's semiconductor corridor narrative, proximity to TSMC and Intel, and the broader reshoring story. Median prices are down roughly 11% from 2022 highs per Realtor.com data. Days on market and resale inventory are trending above 75. That 6.1 times income ratio is the number that explains everything. Healthy housing markets run at 3 to 4 times median household income. Casa Grande is running at more than 6. The semiconductor story was real. The timeline was misread completely. The engineers working at these facilities are buying in Chandler and Gilbert, not Casa Grande. The people who already lived here never earned enough to sustain prices that outside investors drove up. When investors need to exit, they have to sell to the local market. The local market cannot carry a $380,000 home on a $53,000 household income. If you bought Casa Grande as a chip corridor investment play, your exit timeline just extended by years, not months. Number 7 is Maricopa, Arizona, a city whose value proposition was quietly held together by the fact that millions of people were temporarily not commuting. That arrangement ended. Maricopa is Pinal County's largest city, with around 70,000 residents, 30 miles south of the Phoenix metro core. Prices are off 10 to 12% from peak, with the median now near $330,000, according to Zillow first quarter 2026 data. Homeowners association fees in master-planned communities average $180 to $260 per month. But the number that defines Maricopa's structural problem is a road. State Route 347, the primary and effectively only connection to Interstate 10 and the Phoenix Metro, has 2 lanes. No funded expansion is on any Arizona Department of Transportation project list. 70,000 people funnel through it every morning. When you model the total cost of ownership, mortgage plus homeowners association fees plus realistic daily commute cost in fuel and time, you frequently land at or above what a smaller home 15 miles closer to Phoenix costs monthly. The sticker price is lower. The life cost is not. Maricopa was marketed as the affordable Arizona frontier. The frontier now has a 90-minute commute and a water table that Pinal County planners are not as optimistic about as the sales center brochures suggest. Number 6 is Kingman, Arizona. Remote workers from California discovered that $180,000 bought a house here that cost $600,000 in Las Vegas. Then their employers required them back in the office. Most of them left. Kingman is the Mojave County seat, population around 32,000, on Interstate 40 in northwestern Arizona. Median prices are stagnating near $255,000, with select neighborhoods down 8 to 9% from peak, according to Zillow data. Net domestic in-migration to Mojave County went nearly flat in 2025, after years of pandemic gains, according to Census Bureau estimates. Mojave County median household income sits around $48,000. At current prices, that is 5.3 times income in a town where the historical norm was closer to 3 times. Affordability is under pressure for local buyers. The remote workers who arrived in 2020 through 2022 were importing California and Nevada incomes into a market that had never been priced for that income level. When return-to-office mandates pulled them back, the demand signal went with them. What remained was a local buyer pool earning local wages, looking at prices set by people who no longer live there. If you are a long-term Kingman area seller pricing to the 2022 peak, you are pricing yourself out of the only buyer pool that is actually there. We are halfway through this list, and if you have not subscribed yet, the next 5 cities are where the real money is being lost right now, including 2 names that will genuinely surprise you. Hit subscribe and keep watching, because number 1 is something most Arizona homeowners are completely unprepared for. Unlike Sunbelt homeowners insurance, subscribing is completely free. Number 5 is Yuma, Arizona. Yuma averages more sunny days per year than any city in the United States. What the Tourism Bureau leaves out is what those days are starting to cost you. Yuma sits at the far southwest corner of Arizona, population around 100,000, drawing retirees on fixed incomes who believe they have found affordable warm weather living. Median prices are down 9 to 11% from peak, with days on market exceeding 75 days, according to Redfin first quarter 2026 data. Yuma County records some of Arizona's highest heat-related mortality rates per capita, according to Arizona Department of Health Services data. Homeowner insurance costs are rising 15 to 22% year over year, according to Insurance Information Institute Southwest market reports. Summer cooling bills run $350 to $500 per month, based on APS utility consumption averages. You retired to Yuma on a fixed income. You modeled insurance at $1,200 a year because that is what the seller's disclosure showed. The renewal came in at $1,900. Next year, it will be higher. The July power bill was $487. The listing photos were taken in March. There is a specific reason for that. Retirees evaluating Yuma need to model insurance trajectory and cooling costs forward 10 years, not just at closing. The numbers on your disclosure statement are not the numbers you will be living with. Number 4 is Bullhead City, Arizona. The city's entire real estate value proposition depends on the other side of the Colorado River. That is not a selling point. That is the structural flaw. Bullhead City sits across from Laughlin, Nevada's casino strip, with a population of about 44,000. Median home prices have declined approximately 12% from the 2022 peak, according to Zillow data. On a $290,000 peak purchase, that is roughly $35,000 in lost equity. Laughlin gaming revenue showed a year-over-year decline in 2024 and 2025, according to Nevada Gaming Control Board quarterly reports. Short-term rental occupancy is down significantly from 2022 peaks, according to AirDNA Southwest data. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, according to NOAA climate records. When California expanded tribal gaming and Las Vegas day trip accessibility improved, Laughlin's overflow demand softened. That softening crosses the river immediately in a city whose economy has no meaningful diversification. Investors who bought Bullhead for short-term rental yield are now carrying assets that no longer pencil at current rates. When they sell into a buyer pool of fixed-income retirees, not competitive move-up buyers. Everything so far has been about cities you might have expected to face challenges. The next 3 are different. Number 3 is Gilbert, Arizona, specifically zip codes 85296 and 85297, in the $650,000 to $900,000 price tier. Gilbert was the dream. Top-rated schools, low crime, national recognition on every livability ranking. If any Arizona suburb was supposed to be immune to what the rest of the market was experiencing, it was Gilbert. It is not immune, not in this tier, not right now. Those specific zip codes are showing price softness of 7 to 9% from peak, according to Zillow zip code level first quarter 2026 data. Average days on market in the move-up tier have stretched past 80 days, compared to under 30 days in 2022, according to Arizona Realtors Southeast Valley reports. The cause is the mortgage lock in effect. The buyers who would logically purchase a $750,000 Gilbert home today currently own a $500,000 East Valley home with a 2.9% mortgage on it. Trading that for a new loan at 6.5% or 7% means potentially tripling the monthly payment for a modest lifestyle upgrade. Roughly 85 to 90% of existing Arizona homeowners hold mortgages below 4%, according to Federal Housing Finance Agency distribution data. That cohort is not moving up right now. The schools are still great. The demand for this specific product at this specific price is structurally frozen until rates move. If you are a seller in Gilbert's upper tier, the market has repriced. Waiting for 2022 demand to return is a strategy with no defined timeline. Number 2 is North Scottsdale, zip codes 85266 and 85262. Scottsdale does not correct. That was the rule. In those 2 zip codes in 2026, the rule is being rewritten. Luxury inventory. In these zip codes is up more than 55% year over year, according to Redfin's luxury tier first quarter 2026 data. Median price corrections in the $1.2 to $2.5 million range are running 8 to 13% according to Zillow and Redfin price tier comparisons. The cash purchase share of Scottsdale luxury transactions has declined from 2022 peaks according to Adam Data Solutions, Maricopa County data. One buyer demographic has nearly disappeared: Canadian snowbird purchasers. Canadian dollar weakness against the US dollar, combined with cross-border transaction friction, has materially reduced one of North Scottsdale's primary luxury buyer pools, according to the National Association of Realtors 2025 International Buyer Report. The North Scottsdale luxury market ran on 2 engines. The domestic cash buyer cohort that relocated from 2020 to 2023 has largely completed its purchasing. The Canadian buyer has pulled back for reasons that have nothing to do with Scottsdale's appeal and everything to do with currency math. When both engines throttle back simultaneously in a market built on discretionary luxury demand, A 55% inventory surge is not a surprise. It is arithmetic. Everything on this list has been a specific condition in a specific tier or geography. Number 1 is a structural collapse happening across an entire city that became the single most recognized symbol of the Arizona housing boom. The reason it is happening there should concern every homeowner in the state. Number 1 is Goodyear, Arizona. Goodyear was on every list. Best places to buy in Arizona, the fastest growing suburb in the country, spring training facilities, Loop 303 connectivity, master-planned community after master-planned community. From 2020 through 2022, Goodyear looked like a city that had found a permanent gear above the rest of the market. Median home prices in Goodyear are down 13 to 14% from 2022 peak values in tracked zip codes, according to a Zillow and Redfin composite from the first quarter of 2026. On a home that cost $480,000 at peak, that is between $62,000 and $67,000 in lost equity, more than many Arizona households earn in a full year. Active inventory is up over 50% year over year, according to Redfin data. Price reduction frequency ranks among the highest in all of Maricopa County, according to Zillow's tracker for the first quarter of 2026. You purchased in Goodyear in late 2022. You put 20% down. The neighborhood was clean, the comps were strong. You open Zillow 18 months later, and 3 active listings around you are priced below what you paid. One has been sitting 94 days and just had its second price cut. You are not in crisis, but you are not in the equity position you thought you were in.